Hello YouTube, today we're going to test the RX 5700 XT in a couple of games. This GPU is on the Navi 10 processor. It features 2,560 cores, 160 TMUs, 64 ROPs, and 8 GB of GDDR6 VRAM on a 256-bit bus. This GPU was released in 2019 at a MSRP of $400, and this is one of the cards that I have, and for all of our testing, it's going to be on that one. These cards perform pretty much the same, it's just that one's quieter, and I happen to already have it in my computer. And I would also like to talk about the card that I normally use. I am used to using a RTX 3070, which you can see right here. And I was actually kind of surprised how I was able to get a pretty similar experience on a 5700 XT compared to an RTX 3070. I mean, I lose some upscaling quality and some ray tracing, but I don't really use ray tracing. And so I think that overall, the 5700 XT is an amazing option for some budget 1440p gaming, considering you can get these for a little bit less than $200 now. And you'll see their performance right now. Just really quick before we go, this is our computer that we're going to be testing in. This has an i7 8700K CPU and 32 gigs of DDR4, 3200 MHz RAM. This is a pretty fittingly budget CPU, but still it should be plenty. Alright, here we are in PC Building Simulator 2 at 1440p high, no anti-aliasing, or any kind of upscaling. We're seeing around 100, 120 FPS when we're walking around, and when you're at the bench, you can expect about the same, 120, 130 FPS. Alright, I built most of a PC here, but let's just go ahead and move on to the next game. Here we are in BeamNG Drive in 1440p at the Ultra preset. We're getting a solid 70 FPS very consistently. Like, it's staying within like 5 FPS of that. So yeah, you can expect a constant 70 FPS in BeamNG at 1440p Ultra on this GPU. Now I'm going to drop a few settings and let's see if we can get some more FPS out of this without changing the looks too much. Mesh quality, so I'm just going to turn this down to like low. We're going to turn off depth of field. You're going to turn down reflections. You don't really notice it that much when you're driving around, but then we're just going to turn off detailed mirrors because we're not in first person anyway. Now with those changed settings, we've gained about 10 to 20 FPS or so. We're seeing more than 80 consistently, with jumps up to about 90 FPS or so. So yeah, this game runs absolutely amazing in 1440p on the RX 5700 XT. Here we are in Doom Eternal at 1440p with the Ultra Nightmare preset, and I'm going to go ahead and start up the Horde match here. We are seeing a solid 100 plus FPS experience constantly. In some places we can see a little bit more. I'm seeing about 130 FPS at times, but generally you can expect 100 to 110 FPS. This game is running absolutely amazing on this GPU. Like, actually, this is crazy. This is completely native. No upscaling, any kind of frame generation or anything. Just completely native 1440p Ultra Nightmare running on this 5700 XT, and it's getting over 100 FPS consistently. Here we are in Operation Harsh Doorstop at 1440p with the Epic preset, which is the highest preset in the game. And we are getting a solid 90 FPS right now. Yeah, 92, about there. Okay, we're seeing some drops into the 80s. When I look through the scope, it drops into the 40s. But, you know, you're not moving your head up very fast when you're in a scope. So overall, I don't think it really pulls away much. Let's try dropping a couple of settings here, and let's see how good we can get the FPS. But 1440p Epic preset, you can expect about 90 FPS in this game. Let's drop view distance quality a little bit. Anti-aliasing, medium. Post-processing, yeah, we're going to drop that to low. Visual effects, high. Foliage, medium. And shading, we're going to drop that to high. Apply. It looks about the same. I mean, if you're looking for it, it does look a little bit worse, but for one, we've become a little bit CPU dependent now. We're still seeing about 95% GPU usage, so it is a little bit more onto our 8700K now, but I'm seeing about 130, 150 FPS when I'm walking around, and so if you had a better CPU, you could probably keep that 150 FPS consistently. This game runs amazing on this GPU, would recommend. Here we are in Red Dead Redemption 2 at 1440p in the Ultra preset, and let's see what kind of FPS we're getting. So just straight on the Ultra preset, 1440p, we are getting about 50 to 60 FPS, And this feels completely fine, but let's see if we can drop some settings, maybe use a little bit of upscaling, and let's see what kind of FPS we can get. One thing I'm going to do is turn on anisotropic filtering. I'm going to turn down lighting quality just a little bit. Same thing for global illumination. Same thing for shadows. Far shadows, I'm going to turn down to low. Ambient occlusion, I'm going to turn down to high. I'm going to turn down reflections. Tessellation, I'm going to turn down just a little bit. And then I'm going to use some AMD FSR2 on the quality preset. So now with those settings dropped, the game looks about the same. Still incredible, as this game always looks. And we're getting a solid 70 to 80 FPS. And yeah, this game runs great, it feels great, and this is an amazing experience on the RX 5700 XT. I turned the game down to medium and turned on all the same settings that I had before, and now I can get pretty consistently over 80 FPS and up to 90 at times. And so yeah, this game runs amazing. Here we are in War Thunder on a test flight in the Western Europe map. We are running 1440p at the maximum preset, and we are getting well over 100 FPS. We're getting about 150, just looking around. If we look down, yep, we're getting well over 200 now. And if we look straight up into the sky, yeah, we get over down up to like 250 FPS. So yeah, this game runs amazing. Like you can expect about 150 FPS on average in most situations with this GPU at 1440p maximum settings, which is pretty awesome. And when I say maximum settings, I mean the maximum preset, so not necessarily like the movie preset, because that's like the game developers literally tell you like not to play with the movie preset because it's too much for most people's computers. But yeah, at the maximum preset at 1440p with no upscaling, this game runs amazing on this GPU. Here we are in Wreckfest at 1440p Ultra, and we're getting about 60 FPS right here at the start. And now what I've found is that this game is very, very dependent on your surroundings for FPS. Like right now, we're getting, 60 plus, and then there are some cases where, it'll be getting 80 to 100. Like it really just kind of depends. So I'm going to drive for a little bit, and I'll show you an example of those situations where the FPS could get higher. Just a little bit longer into this, and now I'm getting about 80, and then I come over here and I'm facing the inside of the map, and I'm getting about that same FPS as I was earlier. And then I come over here over to the side portion of the map, and I'm getting about 100 FPS through here. So it's just heavily dependent on where you are. But yeah, overall, this is a very, very smooth and good experience in Wreckfest. I mean, we're doing 1440p Ultra just straight for it, and it's doing great. So I'm going to try what a lot of people play on, like 1440p medium, and let's see what kind of FPS we can get doing 1440p medium. So here's the area where we would be getting normally about 60 FPS. We're getting about 100, over 100. We're getting a solid 120 FPS now. So you can get a proper high refresh rate experience here in Wreckfest. And the game still looks amazing on medium. Like honestly, I really can't tell the difference all that much. And our lows are now 100. And we'll see what our highs get to when we're in the places where we were getting more FPS. So we're out here, yeah, we're getting 130, 140, 150 FPS I just saw for a second. And yeah, this game runs absolutely amazing on this GPU. Here we are in Remnant 2. I'm not able to use MSI Afterburner in this game, so I have a little AMD overlay. I will be, I'll be reporting on the FPS a little bit harder here since you guys can't read it yourselves. Rating about 40 to 50 FPS. It's like very strictly between 40 and 50. I haven't really seen anything else doing 1440p Ultra preset. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop down to the medium preset, and we are going to use a little bit of FSR3 at the quality preset, and then some FSR3 frame generation. And with this, the game looks about the same, and we are getting a solid 100, 110, 120 FPS. And I'll just show you this real quick, since some of you guys are really not into frame generation. If I just turn that off and it's just FSR3 upscaling and medium settings, we're getting about 60 to 70 FPS. The frame generation just kind of, helps smooth that out if you're on high refresh rate monitors, and really doesn't add much input lag at all. It's not really noticeable. So yeah, this game runs amazing on the RX 5700 XT. Here we are in Oblivion Remastered at 1440p and with the Ultra preset and no upscaling, and we are getting a solid 40 FPS, which it's a very playable 40 FPS, but of course you'd want more. Also, look at my character, dude. Anyway, Let's come into here. Let's drop down to maybe the medium preset and turn on some FSR. Set it to quality and turn on, we'll leave the frame generation off for the moment. So let's go ahead and see how that performs. And we are getting a solid 60 FPS experience now, you know, which is, it's a very, very playable experience. We're gonna turn on FSR frame generation now. So with frame generation, you're getting about 100 FPS or so, sometimes a little bit higher, but generally, we're getting 100 FPS. And yeah, this game is very, very playable on this GPU. Alright YouTube, well, as you can see, the RX 5700 XT is an amazing graphics card for modern 1440p gaming, especially at the $200 price point, where you can generally find it around that price on eBay. I will say the only thing that you really need to worry about is that it's a little bit power hungry. This one requires 2 8-pins, and my smaller one, which does draw, you know, quite a bit less power, it still needs an 8-pin and a 6-pin, so definitely going to need a decent sized power supply considering that these pull. This one about 190 to 200 watts in stock, and this one I'm up to like 220. And this one I actually played with overclocking a little bit because I was just going to see if there was really any good advantage to it, and I was going to show that in the video if there was. There wasn't, but it did hit 310 watts at one point, so you know, if you want to do stuff like that, you're going to need a big boy beefy power supply. But yeah, at $180 or, you know, about $200, these cards are amazing value, and I really would recommend picking one of these up, even today in the big 25. And with that, YouTube, I love y'all. See ya.